Welcome to The Pipeline. I'm your host, John Matthews, and I'm joined with U.S. Oil's Senior Vice President and General Manager of Branded Operations, Sherry Beavers. We're excited to have you here and share how our branded sales, operations, and petroleum equipment teams help our convenience store owners stay ahead of the competition. Welcome to our second Pipeline podcast. It's great to have you here and be back in the studio again. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that I know touches on all of our dealers, and that is the importance of curb appeal. Why does it matter, and what do we at U.S. Oil help you do about that? As always, I'm here joined in the podcast today with Sherry Beavers. Sherry, it's a rainy day today, but welcome, and it's good to have you here.
Hi, it's great to be back. I'm excited to talk about our next subject.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things with the real estate market kind of booming, I'm watching my neighbors in my house, in my neighborhood, they're doing some things around sprucing up their house and making it look great and doing curb appeal from a residential standpoint. But I mean, that really touches into our dealers as well and the importance of that. And why is that so important for our dealers?
Our industry is pretty unique. First of all, the one product that they sell out on the street is an item that's demanded. You have to have gasoline. So they kind of have a niche, and people are going to stop at their site. So it's really important for them. The other thing that sets convenience stores apart from a lot of other businesses is the amount of interaction that a customer has with them on the exterior of their business. So curb appeal is number one.
Yeah, it makes me almost think a little bit about billboards, right? You have 7 seconds or less to see what that message is, and so if you're out on the street, you need to be able to see that that's a place I want to do business with.
Sometimes the curb appeal is the only information that the consumer has about them. They're not watching them on the radio, on the television commercials.
Yeah.
Their information they get is when they drive past the store. The other things that kind of strikes me as odd is they're probably anywhere between 4 to 6 dispensers, their fueling units that they have at their site. Those cost $20,000 plus, John.
Each? Wow.
So can you imagine having these units out on your site? I know that if I spent $20,000 on something, I'd want to make sure that it's squeaky clean.
Right.
So the fact that you want to make sure when you put it, right now with outdoor EMV, we have a lot of sites putting in brand new dispensers. So why not make them stay nice and clean? The other thing that we found is once you let a trouble spot go, it gets very hard to get rid of it. The other thing I try to get our dealers to understand is take advantage of that time. You're not out there just walking the store to clean it. There are a number of things you need to look for. Right now, outdoor fraud, again, you have to watch. You have to be looking for skimmers. You have to be looking for those opportunities that somebody might have tried to get in your dispenser. You also want to look for issues that you might have outside. You might have some ground issues, somebody spilled gasoline on your site. So you need to get your cashiers in a schedule. Get them in a schedule, get them to do the same routine every day and go out there because again, that nozzle, we call it the handshake with their consumer. It's really important for them to have great curb appeal.
And it really doesn't take that much to do that. I mean, it just takes a dedication to spending some time on that. But we at U.S. Oil, we do some things that other jobbers I've heard don't really do as well. And we have a group of people, our customer account reps, or sometimes I've heard we talked about as cars. They're out there working with dealers on day-to-day issues every day of the week.
U.S. Oil has a dedicated team, like you said, John, called the Cars. Their number one responsibility is to make sure that their mystery shops are doing good. And I know sometimes the dealers think mystery shop's a curse word, and they don't want that. But really, mystery shop is nothing other than giving us what a consumer would be looking for. So like you said, our cars have a goal to make sure that our dealers' scores are the top of the top. And I'm gonna go back to what stat that you and I did when we talked about COVID. Right now, like-for-like volumes are pretty much back up to where they were before COVID, which is really exciting. Which a couple things, right? We also said during our COVID interview that we had was that mystery shops are the ones that keep the like-for-like volumes less and also came back a lot quicker. So it's really, really important. The other thing about this additional consumers that you're seeing, these consumers that we gained over the COVID time is somebody that you want to keep impressed. I know in my neighborhood we joke about keeping up with the Joneses. And guess what? You have to be the Jones. You have to be the one that sets the standard for all the gas stations around you. You need to be the ones that the customer wants to stop at. So when the cars come in from US Oil, we literally drive in as a customer and we leave as a partner. We come in and we have those tough conversations with our dealers, letting them know what needs to be done outside if they're going to get the right consumers to stop at their store. 1 in 5 consumers walk inside to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's a new stat that NACS just released. We want that 1 in 5 customers to go inside because they were outside and they thought, okay, this is a clean store. This is somebody that I want to go in. And when they're leaving their store, for them to pick up your inside items, which is key.
Yeah, I mean, what happens at the pump is important, but a lot more of that money and revenue is made inside the store. So anything that can get them to come in, that's what we have to be looking at, and that's why curb appeal is so important.
Yes, it's not just about the cleanliness. It's preventive maintenance. It's looking for fraud. It's getting the consumers to come to your store. And you have to make it easy for the cashiers. Make it easy for your team. Get them a cart with every item that they possibly need. Get them a schedule. Get it on a timeline so that they do it on a regular basis.
Yeah, and so I mean, if dealers have questions, obviously the first person to talk to their car, and the car can take care of that and walk them through what to do.
And be willing to take that feedback.
Yeah.
Be willing to take the feedback, learn from it, adjust, and make sure that you're ready for those consumers.
Yeah, well, that's outstanding advice, and certainly I'm sure that people are going to be, taking that to heart. And, I guess the thing too is, before we wrap up, is there any other kind of news or information, maybe not related to curb appeal, that's worth sharing? I mean, I know that we've had some conversations around driver shortages on fuel trucks, but Sherry, what do you have for us?
I'm trying to get everybody to switch from the word shortage to maybe shift. And this is what we're finding is what happened during COVID, there wasn't as many drivers that were needed for our industry. That was problem number one. Some of them went and looked for other jobs while they were waiting for the gas stations to have their demand come back up. The other issue we had is a driver that hauls transportation fuel has a lot of high standards that they have to meet, a lot of licensing, a lot of things that they have to get done to be able to transport that product. And a lot of those places that they go to get those tests and get those licenses, they were also shut down during COVID. So they are behind on all of their permits, behind on all of their recoding and reclassifications. So I think some of those drivers will come back. However, some of them have moved on.
Yeah.
And now the problem that we have, John, is we're going to have to offer more money to get them to come back. So it's not a fuel shortage, because people like to think that there's a fuel shortage going on.
Right.
And I don't even know if we want to say it's a driver shortage as much as it is a shift.
Yeah.
We have to get those drivers to come back to this industry. We have to get them all back up to license and permits of where they need to be. And I even say to the station owners, talk to your friends and family. There are folks that are out there that have their CDL license. Talk them into a really fun industry to get involved in, but we have to hold tight. I tell our dealers, you need to let your oil company and US Oil let us help you. There is no longer watching the market, waiting for the end of the day to order fuel. Please listen to your transportation managers and let them help you. Give everybody some time. You have to understand we're all working through this together. But if you went out and Googled it, it is all over the place. It's happening everywhere. We all have to be patient and we all have to be prepared.
Well, I know that we're certainly on top of it, and a lot of folks are keeping an eye on it and working proactively with dealers and with our carrier partners who we've got long time relationships with. So it's good advice to keep passing that along.
Yeah. Our transportation manager, Shelly Zeinert, has gotten pretty creative over these last couple of weeks, trying to find different ways of finding drivers, getting drivers to come back. And we are doing everything we possibly can to make sure that our dealers have the product when they need it on time.
Well, excellent. Well, thank you, Sherry, for your time today. And then thank you for joining us today. And be sure to come back and watch other episodes of the podcast, whether it was the first one that we did a couple months ago or future episodes. They'll be hosted on our website, usoil.com, or on our Facebook and LinkedIn page. So until next time, be safe out there and have a great rest of your day.